So you've got a basic resume together. Now it's time to polish it up and get it ready to distribute to an employer and get that job or internship. The first idea we're going to talk about is the 10-second rule. The 10-second rule comes from the idea that employers or recruiters, when they first look at your resume, are skimming it, are taking a quick look. And what are they looking for? They're looking for, do you have the basic skills and experiences, but they're also looking for mistakes. They're looking for reasons to rule you out. We know that a publicly posted job is in some cases going to have dozens or hundreds of applicants. So one of the first things that a recruiter does is go through the resumes and look for a reason to pull you out of that stack and not consider you. Some reasons that an employer may not like your resume are demonstrated here. This is a poorly written resume. Mary Lou doesn't include her last name. She has a dicey email. She has an objective that doesn't tell us much. It's too vague. The education section includes some spelling mistakes and is also poorly organized. In the in the experience section, this one is okay format-wise, but the problem comes with not giving us enough detail or specifics in the write-ups. And this is probably the number one thing that we see with students, is not enough detail or specifics in the experience. We have a volunteer experience section here with no content in it. So this is a resume that would not get very far. And here's an example of a resume that has a better look to it, is visually appealing, is organized well, does not have the spelling mistakes, and has details and specificity in the experience section. Let's talk about some specific things you can do to make sure your resume is going to look good and get the positive attention that you want it to. First of all, your margins should not be smaller than a ½ inch. Don't go smaller than 10 points on your font size. And be consistent with your font size. Don't use a wacky font. Use one of the standard ones listed here. Make sure that you have a balance on your page between text and white space. One of the problems with Mary Lou's resume is that all the text is on the left-hand side of the page and the right-hand side of the page is full of empty space. Not a good use of space, not giving us the balance we're looking for. One page on the length of your resume is best. If you have extensive relevant experience, you can get away with a multi-page resume, but know that a recruiter is typically not reading every word of every page, so you want to front load and make sure page 1 has all the most important stuff on it. Consistency of formatting is really important as well throughout your resume. Let's take a look at some more specific things you can do to pass that 10-second test. First of all, in your experience write-ups, you need to be emphasizing results and achievements. What did you do well? How were you recognized by your employer? In what ways did you move the company's mission forward? This is not going to be captured usually with a list of tasks where you write tasks or duties included and write those out. That's what the boss told you to do. What we want is what did you achieve and how did you excel and how did you accomplish? Each bullet or sentence in your experience section should start with a verb. We've got a couple on this page for you to think about and more in our career guide. But basically what you want to do is have a lot of different action words or verbs on your resume because in essence each one is a skill that you're claiming. And we want you to claim a lot of skills and a variety of skills. We emphasize that you should quantify or use numbers on your resume. Going back to Monty Reyes, you can see that he includes specific numbers of students or participants. He includes a dollar amount and a budget that he helped to manage and so on. And these numbers on the resume are a great way to show the scope and volume of your work. Finally, proofread your resume. We cannot emphasize this enough. Microsoft Word will give you spelling and grammar help. It's also a great idea to have another set of eyeballs look at your resume and give you feedback and make sure that you don't have any mistakes. Now let's take a look at some of the don'ts on a resume. Don't abbreviate. Typically, you're not going to use abbreviations or slang or shortened terms on a resume because you cannot be sure that the reader knows what it means. Stay away from resume templates. This would be the plug-and-play templates that you can find on Google or other places online. The reason behind that is that once you complete writing your resume, if you want to move something around or you want to change the size of a section or make this a little bigger, this a little smaller, the template's going to have you locked in and you're going to be really frustrated. So our recommendation is actually to start with a blank Word document and just build it from the bottom up, because it's not really about the look of your resume, it's more about the content. Flashy graphics or fonts typically are not used, nor are pictures, by the way. You don't include a picture of yourself. Again, the content is what the emphasis is on. A couple more things for the resume. You need to eliminate all first person I, me, we, our, us. That's an old resume rule. You don't do first person on the cover letter. First person's fine. I mentioned this earlier. If you have my responsibilities or my duties included and then a list of tasks, suggest you drop that opening phrase and rewrite that sentence so that it is more of an active voice sentence. As a college student, we are looking for what have you done lately. So we encourage you to drop the old high school accomplishments, clubs that you were a part of, and so on, because employers are really looking for what you've done more recently. So those are a couple of the key things that we wanted to share with you about polishing your resume. Remember, your resume should include all of your most relevant experiences for the job you're going for. It should be specific, it should be detailed, it should have numbers, and it should be proofread very carefully. Please contact us by email or phone if you have additional questions. The CSUMB Career Development Department wishes you luck in your job and internship search.